Just reading. Okay, now, okay, ready? Go.
You didn't say what it is.
Oh, okay, it's written. Marcus intro, take 12.
Hello everyone, my name is John Butler. I'm the director here at the Mill, and I want to welcome you to Bagels and Business today. It's a pretty exciting topic today, video. As you know, the climate, today's climate, video is becoming more and more important. So we're going to introduce Marcus C. here from Ariel and 360 to talk about video and how to use it to not only promote your business, but to promote and capture your lifestyle. Marcus is a client here at the Mill and began his company a little over 2 years ago with very little experience in photography or film editing. Currently has 12 employees, revenues are growing, and he's getting ready to launch a second business to offer more products and services to some of the business runoff that he's not able to capture today. Marcus built his business with the belief that client experience comes first, and video and photo products are very necessary. So that's it. I'm going to turn over to Marcus, and do I need to mark it? Or?
Yeah, right. And cut. I guess I'm going to talk to you because I can't see them. All right. So my name is Marcus C. I am the owner of Ariel and 360 Productions, and today we're going to talk more about. Let me silence my phone real quick. We're going to talk more about how to choose the right video production company for your needs and what to look out for, and then how to actually plan your videos out so you can use them throughout the year instead of having to get videos done every week or every month. Okay, so I do like to kind of feed off of you guys and have you guys ask questions about what you need to know if you're going to hire a video production company. Maybe you've had bad experiences. Maybe some companies make you feel uneasy. The number one thing that we're taught as videographers is always to ask what the client budget is. And if you are going to meet with a video production company and the first question is, what's your budget? It could be a little bit of a red flag. A lot of video production companies and videographers will actually base their what they charge based on what you say. So it's that sales rule, he who talks first loses, right? And so, sorry, I'm looking up there. I don't know where to look anymore. So, but if you say you have a budget of $2,000 and they don't know what budget they have in mind, $2,000 might be a great fit for you, and they might do it a little bit cheaper than you would expect. If you say a budget of $10,000, they might add a $5,000 budget in mind, and that would ultimately cause you to lose another $10,000 or another $5,000 because they're just going to try to take all the money they can get, right? So when you're talking to a video production company, the first thing you want to do is ask them what is their hourly rate, half-day rate, or full-day rate, and what do they charge for editing? Because that way you're only going to get charged for the work they do, not actually get charged based on what you can afford, if that makes sense. So does anybody have any questions about that? Any questions online? Nothing.
How do you know if you're getting a good deal? How do you know if you're getting charged what you should be getting charged?
That's a great question. So how do you know if you're getting charged what you should be getting charged? There's a couple different factors that will play into it. How long the company's been around, the types of projects they've done in the past, the types of projects that they can show you as far as their demo reel. The number one thing that I always look for is what type of quality are they putting out? If you're concerned about the price, always check the quality of their existing videos or the ones they've done before. Make sure that those videos actually match the quality of what you're wanting. Also, it kind of depends on, your budget will go up if you're doing 4K, 8K, 6K, these things that take a little bit more time to render or to edit and put together. So if you're meeting with a video production company, I suggest getting a quote from them and shopping around and asking a couple other video production companies as well, and then ask them what type of equipment they use or how long they've been in the business. Does that make sense?
Is there a rough draft, though, or a rough estimate of what kind of prices you should be paying? Just for, I know there's 1,000 different things, but
Sure.
Is there some kind of about how much I should expect?
So that can vary by industry. That can vary based on the projects. Typically, for us, you'd be looking at spending a minimum of about $1,500 to $2,000 for any type of video. Like a smaller video all the way up to 10, 20 grand, right? For social media videos, I know there's a lot of companies out there that will do them for a couple $100s, but again, it just kind of comes down to their skill set, and the more expensive they are, typically, the more experience they have and the better quality you're gonna get, because there's a lot of imposter syndrome in the videography and photography world, right? People don't want to charge a lot if they can't actually back up that skill, or they don't know that if they can back it up, and so that will kind of dictate the price as well. Does that make sense? So I've been there. I mean, I don't want to charge $1,000 because I'm worried that people won't think I'm worth $1,000, and then when you get to that point, it's not a big deal. So, any other questions regarding that?
George is asking online.
Hi, George.
Do these fee structures include script development?
So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. My best advice for you is when you approach a client, a videography company, you need to make sure you have a game plan in mind as to what types of things that you want to capture. For our company, we don't charge for things like that. Going back to the customer experience, ideas are ideas. We don't want to charge you for your ideas. I think that's stupid. However, if you do go to a more creative videography company that maybe does marketing, they may charge you to sit down and storyboard it and to actually hash out the details. If you don't want to pay for that, my best advice is bullet point it. Write an outline and say, hey, these are the key points that I need to hit for this video or for this series of videos. And then from there, you're actually able to create a pretty good script just from yourself. If you do have somebody write a script for you, make sure that it represents your brand the way that you want it to, because if you have somebody else write it, it may come across different than your personality or your brand. Does that make sense? Any other questions? All right, so the next thing you want to do is look at all the hidden fees that a videography company may have. A lot of videography companies may pitch something at a really great value, but then after you start working with them, there may be fees to download your footage. They may delete your footage. There may be fees for travel. There may be fees for every lens and every camera they use and things like that. So there's a lot of things that people aren't aware of that they get charged for that may not necessarily be upfront and may leave you having a bad experience. So if you're going to choose a videography company, ask any questions you want, ask for client referrals, ask to see some work that they've done, ask them to give you kind of an idea of what they think it would cost, and ask them to justify that cost, because that will save you a lot of time and energy, and hopefully you will come out with a better video. So if there's no more questions regarding hiring the right videography company, we'll actually go into how to set up your videos to be able to reuse them over and over.
Can I ask a question though about
Yes.
that one piece? So if they say $200 and we'll give you whatever in the world you want, how do you know that that's not true, or that they are going to have hidden fees? They say it's $200 and you go, oh cool, and you get started. What questions do you ask to know you're going to get upsell?
All right, so let's say that you told me you can do whatever videos I want for $200, right? My first question is going to be, all right, how much time does that include? How much of your time does that include? Does that include
an hour?
Okay, so that includes 1 hour. Okay, so now I need to be confident that I could get all of that put together and you could shoot it in 1 hour. And I can say, hey, how much is it going to cost if I need an extra hour, or if I need 2 days of shooting? So I'm going to start asking you questions about what that $200 really covers. Does that make sense? Additionally, does that $200 cover editing, right? How much is editing going to cost me on top of that? Because a lot of guys will say, hey, it'll be $300 and that will include editing. Great. How much editing? Because this is a two-way road, right? You can say it includes editing, and I'll say how much. Well, it includes one edit, whereas as a client, in my mind, I'm like, you're going to edit it until I like it, which then ultimately can hurt the videographer and cause a bad relationship, bad experience altogether. Does that make sense? So
We have a question online.
who is it?
George again.
Hi, George, again.
Are there basic or standard contracts and or outlines for contracts that have a checklist of all those things we should ask about and consider?
That's a good idea. I can put one together. I can build one. There's not really, I've never seen a really big checklist. There are standard contracts that videographers will use. We don't use too many contracts for our company, but if you do go through it, again, make sure all of that is, everything is outlined very clearly, how much editing time. How much work, make sure there's, you know how much editing is included, make sure how much shoot time is included, make sure that in that contract, or when you're asking, does that include location rental, talent, voiceovers, graphics, all these things are hidden fees that people love to get you with. And if you get a contract or you meet with a video production company, make sure that you get a price list or a menu, or they at least explain it. And typically do it by email. Get an email so it's in writing, because I've had conversations with people where one of us or both of us forgot or didn't understand the actual prices, and then it turns into kind of a weird little conversation. So
George responded, awesome. And I'm just curious, if you're gonna put a checklist together, where would you put that? Would it be on your website?
We'll put it on Facebook page.
yeah, I could put it on the Facebook page. I don't know where it would be, but give me 7 days,
Okay.
like the ring, right?
What is your website? Is there stuff you put on your website?
Yeah, not really. Our website's ariel360.com. We'll put some, you know what? I will actually have one of my guys make a section on our website dedicated to client resources. So I think that'd be actually really helpful. So
Yeah.
fantastic. I've learned something today.
Yeah.
All right. So any other questions about choosing a videography company or hiring a videography company before we move into actually coordinating your videos? Good. 5, 4, 3.
George really wants that checklist though. He says, thank you, please do it.
Will do. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is when you do have a shoot with a videography company, how can you create videos that you can actually reuse? Geico is a really great example of, and again, I don't have my slides, I don't have slides or anything like that, but Geico is a really great example of having a series of commercials that make sense if you put them all together, but they also work individually as their own little branding commercials. So
Easy a caveman can
they did
do
the
it.
caveman one, the gecko. They did, all the fun ones with the like Pinocchio and woodchucks and all that fun stuff. And so when you actually are planning a video, don't plan to just shoot one video that day with a videography company. Don't say, hey, I want to do, for realtors, I want to do a class on first-time home buying and then do this 45-minute video. Out of that, you can actually break it up and bullet point it and say, I want to do a video that's first-time home buyers experience, what to expect when you're looking for a house, what to expect during the appraisal process, what to expect during due diligence, what to expect during closing. And if you put all of those together into one long video, that's fantastic. You can have a 45-minute video, but you can also break them up and post them on social media, send them out to clients, post them on YouTube or wherever as individual little clips that help show your knowledge and your authority on that specific topic. And this will ultimately allow you to save money and reuse those throughout the year. We've done it with real estate. We've done it with salons. We've done it with small businesses. We've done it with bakeries and restaurants. And so maximize the amount of time that you have with the videography company to ensure that you're not hiring them every single week or every month and paying them 5 or 6 times what you need to pay them in order to continue using that marketing. Is it George?
Yep.
Hi, George.
He's asking, he wants to know, let's see, where did this question go? Are we able to create these commercials or center content and just change introductions and closes for each target customer?
Yes, so that's another great question. So one of the things that we do, again, in real estate a lot, is we will film really cookie cutter videos for an entire brokerage, and then have the realtors individually film themselves as they get new team members or as people leave or grow or whatever. And so what you can actually do is set it up to where the intro and the outro is completely unique to the video, but going into the video, it's pretty standard, and that saves you a bunch of money as well. Instead of having people film the same video 30 times, use that same core piece of video, and then video production companies should be able to just, we have you guys do it. We'll have the client use a cell phone against a solid backdrop, and we can fit that into a video. Does that make sense? George, good? Any questions so far? I mean, it's really not super crazy, intense stuff, but it's just little things that I notice a lot of businesses really don't think about when they're hiring a video production company.
George said cool.
All right. Any other question? Wow, I am too quick. I was hoping there'd be more questions. Do you have any questions?
So I'm assuming that if you're trying to maximize your time, you want to plan out your topics, or is it sometimes you just record stuff and then you can see what it is and just pull out bites?
That's a great question. So before you actually show up to a video shoot, if you're coming up with the content yourself, you should always have like an outline of what you want to talk about or a script. We love when people have scripts and we just throw them on a teleprompter. But if you can come in and you say, hey, these are the key ideas that I have, and then break those down into other sections, that'll be easier for you as well as easier for editing. The other thing is that if you come in with bullet points and you mess up when you're doing the video, you can actually just go back to a bullet point instead of starting over at the top. Does that make sense? And so that will maximize the amount of time that you have with that videographer without getting charged anything else. Also, it'll allow you to have really good stopping points and areas to actually chop up the video. So if you have bullet points, it's far easier than chopping it on a run-on sentence.
Okay, so if you have a business that can't afford a company to help them,
Sure.
what recommendations do you have, like tips for them on doing their own?
Absolutely. If you guys want to do your own video, we absolutely encourage it. We actually teach classes on how to use your own gear because video is so important. Couple things you want to really focus on is the audio. If it's bad audio, you'll ruin a video all day long. Lighting, you can go on Amazon and spend $60 and get one of those stands for your phone with a little ring light on it that will light you really well. And then get a teleprompter app for your phone so it's easier to remember what you're going to say and really just capture all those little details that you wanted to capture. So if you are going to do video yourself, audio and lighting are the two biggest things. Cell phones are absolutely fantastic for capturing video. Having bad video is better than having no video if you're a company. And you guys can always reach out on our website or reach out to the mill and they can get a hold of me if you guys have questions about how to actually do your own video. I mean, we love teaching people how to do that stuff.
So what if we recorded all our own video, but we wanted you to help edit it?
So me as a company, we won't edit anybody else's stuff. There's plenty of companies out there that will. We won't because we stand behind the quality of the work that we put out. And we've run into situations where people have blamed us for the quality of the video when it's really their recording, right? But there are plenty of people on Connect Utah or even on Facebook. If you say, hey, I need somebody to edit my video, there's plenty of people out there that will do it. A lot of them are fairly inexpensive. And if you really want to get into it and you're gonna do a ton of video, the Philippines has a lot of great editors that filmmakers use to edit videos for very, very cheap. So there's lots of cheap options out there if you don't have time to edit.
So what if you wanted to edit your own? I've just been using the Windows editor, which actually looks surprisingly
Is this
well.
Movie Maker?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but you probably have some other recommendations on do-it-yourself editing.
No, I know people that use apps. So also for editing, there's great apps for your iPad or iPhone. I think Filmora is a really good one. I think it's maybe $10, $15. You got to pay for it, but it's a great app to do some basic editing. Windows Movie Maker, though I don't use it. I mean, it's better than nothing. PowerPoint is actually a great way to edit videos. I mean, it's crazy what you can do with PowerPoint, and everybody should have
I've done that. You can record your slides. Yeah.
Yep. So, and you can do transitions. So PowerPoint is really diverse. I don't think people need to really get into the caliber unless they're going to be focusing just on video, like they're a marketing company or they have a marketing team. Then it's worth getting into Premiere, Final Cut, and all those fun things. But I mean, there's a lot of, if you get creative with PowerPoint, that would be my go-to. It's super easy to use, cool transitions. You can start and stop it, and then you can export it as a video. So if you're going to edit yourself, use your phone, make sure you have good audio, buy a $20 little lav mic, use PowerPoint. I think you guys should be good to go. This is George.
Yeah. What are realistic average timelines from contacting you to scheduling a session to end of editing and having content being ready to post?
So from the time we start filming for our company, it's 26 days. We know that because we've built it out that way. But it really depends on the type of project. So for us, and for most videography companies, they're kind of busy, so you want to schedule it at least a couple weeks out. So if you needed a video done as soon as possible, reach out and we'll see what we can do. But typically we're a couple weeks out. It could take up to a couple weeks to get everything finalized and go back and forth. A lot of it really depends on the client and how responsive they are. But for us, once we start filming, there's 26 business days or less, and you'll actually have a final product.
He also asked, do you do scheduled posting of the content as a value-added service?
We do not. We are not a marketing company, and that is like our hard line. We will create the content. We're not responsible for posting it or advertising it. We don't want to get in that mess. We don't want to be blamed for a bad marketing campaign, right? So we will create your vision. We will be your hands and the tools for it. You actually get to tell us how to do it and what you want, and then you are responsible for posting it. However, there are companies out there that do both, and I know some really good guys. So if you're looking at somebody that will film it and do the marketing, I can direct you to somebody as well.
Okay, he also asked, do you offer animation, creation, and integration?
I'm not sure what you mean by integration, but we can definitely do the animation part. It's not cheap, but we can do 3D animation, and we can incorporate that into green screens. We do green screens and all that fun stuff as well. But as far as integration, I'm not sure what that means.
I think it means with live video and then putting.
Oh yeah, we can do that. The green screen special effects stuff like Marvel movie. I can't do a Marvel movie, but we have the same technology. John, you had a question?
Yeah, you mentioned that you love when people have a script, and then you're not a marketing company to push video out. Where does a small business owner go to get those questions answered? They know they need a video. They're trying to make YouTube. They're trying to promote their service on Facebook. You want them to be prepared before they come to you,
right?
Or is that something you can help them with?
So if somebody comes to us and they need more than just video, we'll refer them out.
Okay.
Like 100%. We have some really good guys that focus on YouTube stuff and focus on social media marketing and ad campaigns and pay-per-click and all that. And we'll just send it out to those guys.
But they can reach out to you, or we can reach out to you and you can help.
Yeah, so my company, we love being positioned as somebody that you can go to if you need advice or any type of expertise. And if we don't have it, we can get you to the right person. We have such good reputations with so many different companies.
That costs thousands of dollars.
No, that's free.
Do that for free?
Yeah. Why not?
So anybody can call you and just get advice.
Anybody can call me and ask me how to shoot their own video, and we will tell them how to shoot their own video, and it won't cost them a dime. That's why we're so good.
George meant, I guess, by integration, the editing into the conventional, traditional video.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, we can absolutely make somebody appear here even though they're not really here. Absolutely do that. No problem.
So you said you teach some classes. How do we find out about those classes?
Since COVID started, we slowed down a little bit, but we typically put it on our Facebook, Aerialum360, or facebook.com/Aerialum360 if we're going to do a class or anything like that. But we do want to start doing them again, just because the more people that can do their own video, the better it is for the businesses.
Are there certain, and this may be a really general question, but are there certain types of videos that are more successful than others?
Yes, there absolutely are. The videos that, if you're going to do a video yourself, you will probably resonate more with people if it's a selfie video and it's actually more choppy than trying to do a professional quality video on your phone. Because people understand, the walking on a phone and talking, that's just normal, commonplace. And so if you're going to do videos, I suggest starting off with like live style videos, and that will actually grab more attention than if it looks like you tried to make this commercial that may not resonate. Does that make sense? So live videos are fantastic.
So again, George is asking, do you create a animation, cartoon style characters as avatars kind of thing?
We will actually give that to John Hallett.
I was gonna say.
So we'll sub that type of stuff out to Jonathan Hallett of Stitch Tunes and Hallett Media, and he is also here as well.
So when you sub that, what do you mean? Do you mean that they pay you and you get Jonathan to do that, or do you just send them to Jonathan?
I'll send them to Jonathan, and then I'll take a %. So that's how it works.
Okay.
I mean,
Beat him in the parking lot.
Yeah. Where's my money, bro? No, when we send stuff out, depending on the situation, it shouldn't cost you anything more. Like, we could give you a quote, or Jonathan Hallett could give a quote, and then we're going to take a % on top of that. And that's not between me and the client. That's between me and the subcontractor. So it shouldn't affect anything on the client end. Any other questions? What's up, Blaine?
So this is all, I had this question. So I went to a marketing class a while back, and they went through all of the big production and like the stuff we talked about. But most of the people in there were real small business folks. But then they showed a video that they did, like when they first started out, and it was all done on an iPhone, and they said this was the one we got the most engagement with. And I'm like, why in the crap are you showing us all of this crap we have to do for thousands of dollars if the one that you had so much engagement with was what you did on your phone? So should we really pay for all this stuff?
So, and that goes back.
Reason?
Absolutely. That's what goes back to the question that we had over here is people resonate more with raw, shaky video that's really not like edited and fluffed up, because that's something that they think they could do, or it's something that's common. You know, TikTok is a great example of shaky videos and people just using a cell phone. So it's become more common than actual high production stuff. The high production stuff you'd want to do is more client facing, like products or branding, or you're trying to send a specific message with your company versus just trying to get your company known. Does that make sense? Like a Facebook Live video will allow you to have FaceTime with your potential customers, but a professional quality production will allow your customers to really understand in depth what you're offering. Does that make sense? So
There's a place for each.
there absolutely is. If you can't afford to do really high quality video, like I said, Facebook Live style videos are great. TikTok is blowing up as far as like people promoting stuff. But if you really want to get out there and start branding to the masses and like really showcase a product or showcase a specific element of education or information, then, you know, professional video production is definitely ready to go. Any other questions?
What about when companies have their own B-roll and they've got some content, but then they want to update it and they
Sure.
want you to come and, you know, freshen up, but integrate the stuff that they have? You said you don't like using other people's video.
We will, yeah, so that's a great question. If you have existing video footage that you want incorporated into a new video, we'll absolutely do that. And we'll probably intentionally make it look a little bit, what's the word, dated compared to what we're doing. So you can clearly see that it's from the past, right? That, we're fine with that. We just don't want to take video that you just shot on your phone, like weddings. We will never take wedding video that was shot on somebody's cell phone and edit that into a wedding video, because if the audio is bad or anything, then it's just a bad experience and we get blamed. If you have pre-existing footage and content that you want incorporated into a new video, B-roll, or you want testimonials from the past, absolutely no problem there at all. Does that make sense?
Do you offer any services in VR or AR?
We do 360 stuff for sure.
It's in
AR,
your name.
huh? You're right, aerial and 360, right? AR, we don't do too much with. VR, we'll do a little bit. It hasn't been super widely adopted as far as video goes, you know, on a large scale. Photos, absolutely. I mean, we've done virtual tours and stuff of monuments and stuff downtown and houses. But AR, we're really not, we've never done it and we don't really focus on it. We could, but it's just not. Augmented reality versus virtual reality. Virtual reality would be like a walkthrough of a house, right? Like Google Maps. AR would be like interactive, like 360 stuff, like.
Like you could click here and get.
Yeah, I mean, we could a little bit more in depth than that, like actual like CGI stuff interacting with you. So like if you ever watch Conan, right? Like he did a VR AR experience where he was like a chef or whatever, and so you have things interacting with you and you're picking up stuff and, you know, couple little differences there. Any other questions? No. I mean, I'm out of stuff to talk about.
It's almost time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for me. Again, my name is Marcus C. My company is Aerial and 360. You can find me online at aerialand360.com. That's AERIAL. The word and then the number's 360. Email me at marcus@aerialand360.com and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/aerialand360. Back to you, John.
All right. Again, thank you, Marcus. If you have any, like Mark said, if you have any additional questions and you forgot all of the Facebook and email lingo, just hit us up on our Facebook page, which you're connected to right now, and we'll make sure you get the hold of that. Again, we're live here at the mill. Woohoo! It's great to be here. Again, we provide co-working space, incubator. We have everything from private desks up to offices. A lot of networking and educational services like today. And again, we have mentoring, advising, and a host of other programs and resources to really help you grow your business and get to more revenues. One thing I do want to take note is mark your calendars. Wednesday, October 14th from 11 to 1 outside in the parking lot. We'll have a food truck, some free food presented by US Bank. And everyone's invited, so you'll hear more about it, but mark it right now so you don't forget, come out and have some free food. And anything else, we will see you on the 14th. Cut.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.